Welcome to EvoBizDevo with Isis Latham, your host, your hub for personal and professional growth since 2018. At EvoBizDevo, we bring together entrepreneurs, business leaders, and change makers to spark ideas, share knowledge, and grow together. Stick with us as we explore fresh ways to expand networks, build resources, and create lasting impact. Let's get started. Welcome to Evolution Business Development. I'm your host, Isis Latham, and it's my pleasure to welcome today Allyson Santaw. Allyson, as you can tell, she's a New Hampshireite. She lives here local to the Keene area, and she specializes in capturing life's most meaningful moments. From intimate family portraits to grand life events, she offers personalized photography services for every stage of life, including newborns, school-age children, adults, seniors, and even pets. Allyson's work reflects the unique connection she has bringing love and adventure within each story. In Allyson's own words, in addition to custom portrait sessions, I offer breathtaking wildlife and landscape photo prints where I blend creativity with professionalism, delivering images that highlight life's beauty and my love for nature in the world around us. And I pride myself on offering a safe and comfortable space in which everyone can feel at home and be themselves. Well, welcome to Evolution Business Development, Allyson. So tell me a little bit about why you got into photography. I think there's something about a Barbie camera.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So when I was a small child, the old disposable films, you take it to the store and they develop it. You come back, pick up your pictures. I did that whole jazz. And then one year I got so excited. My mom and my stepdad got me this I remember it was pink, purple, and green Barbie Polaroid camera. And, you took a picture and the picture came right out. And I was like now you can get your pictures instantly. I don't even have to go down to the store. Like it just comes right out of the camera. So that was really cool. So I started learning that like, no matter which way it was, I really just liked taking photos. Um, and, then cell phones came out and you got to start taking photos as you're going around and the photo's there, it's on this tiny little screen, but it's there. And then in 2016, my mom's like, what's something that you'd like really like for Christmas that, just comes right to your head that you're like, I really wish I could have that. And I'm like, you know what I really like? I would love like a camera, like an actual camera that I could take photos of my kids. Cause I thought that's like what I was going to just want to do is just photos of my kids, of them growing up. And I was like, this is actually so much fun that when some friends and stuff would start asking me, hey, do you want to do some photos for us? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'd love some new faces behind the camera and, different personalities too. And I'm like, this is just so fun. That this past year, I was like, when are you ever going to be really ready? I don't think I'd ever actually be ready. I'd always have one more thing I could kind of like put into place before I just do it. And I'm like, I'm just going to do it and like let everything else fall into place after. Like I can do this and have fun with it and wake up every day and really enjoy what I'm doing, photography.
Have you ever been an entrepreneur in any other areas of your life?
I have not, no. I dabbed into crafts a little bit, like jewelry making and bracelets and stuff. But I just kind of did it as like an outlet and like went to like I never like really like was like all in for it. You know what I mean? So no, this is like really the first time I've ever done anything and like I want to make something out of this. This isn't just for play on the side. Like this is something I see myself doing until my fingers don't allow me to snap another picture anymore.
That's a great image and one I hope never comes to pass, right?
Yeah.
Because as long as you have your vision, as long as you have the ability to take a photograph, you'll still be able to compose them. Where do you think photography is going in the next, decade when we think about what happened between different time periods in history, right? Where it used to be near impossible to get a photograph. And then they would
Yeah.
have them but it was only for very special occasions. And then we had Polaroids and disposable cameras and things like that. And then phones were taking our pictures. I remember the first digital camera I ever got. It was really expensive and had very limited capability. Now my phone is better than that really expensive camera that I used to have. So where do you think that cameras are going next?
Yeah, it's something I think about often, with what you said about phones. Like some phones can do some pretty amazing things. And it's both exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking because as a photographer, I'm like, I don't want the phone to take a better photo than me, because like then they won't need me anymore if they're able to just click and snap their picture. But at the same time, I'm like, how cool would it be to have this tiny little object to carry around with you instead of I brought this just to kind of show like a big, I mean, it's a lot to carry around. So I'm like, it's kind of cool that they're finding the technology to put into the phones. But then, like I said, it's a little bit intimidating too. um, so I'm like, I feel like they're gonna have to one up their camera game, right? Because if some people are figuring out how to do it into a phone, they got to figure out how to be even better. Which I mean, mirrorless or DSLR, I like both. You know, sides of the camera world, but they've got to find a way to make them more amazing now. I feel like
Hmm.
puts a
That's
little pressure
interesting.
on
And I
them.
wasn't expecting you to answer that way, actually. Um, I have another question for you. What do you think is is different about and again, because you have a perspective that other people don't have. So what do you
Mhm.
think is so different about the experience when somebody is able to capture those pictures in real time, in the moment, and then having somebody like yourself show up with all the equipment and it's a planned location, a planned time, and there's preparation in there. What is the difference there? And what's unique to both?
Yeah, so I think although it's kind of like two-handed. So although technology is catching up into the phones and stuff where people can do it, something that people might not have, even though they have the equipment to take the photo, there's still so much more that I think goes with it as far as posing, as far as, angling and, um, maybe the phones do great during the day, but then they don't do well at night. And with, high-end equipment, you're able to add things in. Like you can't add a big giant flash in with a camera. I can do that,
Yeah.
I mean with a phone, but like with a camera you can. um and then I guess, what else would set it apart? um I think sometimes it is like, so when you go to somebody, like you choose a photographer or something compared to you're just in the backyard and shooting your family. I feel like sometimes a photographer can like usher a little bit more personality out of people, in different ways. Because while you might be super comfortable with your family, sometimes it actually is harder for me to photograph people I know and family compared to strangers that I feel like I can be a little bit more loose and like just more, I don't know. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like bubbly in a different way.
Mhm.
Because like my family, if I acted like that, they'd be like, what are you doing? Because like we know you, and it's like, I'm trying to make you laugh and loosen up. But when it's other people, they don't know what you're average personality is. So you don't look like you're just trying to be goofy to them. They're just like, let's go with the flow.
I think that's great. Well, I was thinking about it from a standpoint of, as an advisor, there's robo advisors now, there's DIY, there's all these other options. Why do you need the person? Because it's a person. Because a person can elicit a response from you. They can use their own judgment. They can be nuanced in a way that you will never experience if you're just working with a static algorithm, or in this case, a camera on, that's on the other end of that arm or tripod. And I also really like, and I think you and I talked about this at one point, that I really like that you can have a conversation with somebody and draw out what you see in them coming through that lens.
Yeah.
And there are certain people who can capture images from a person that nobody else can. And that's a really beautiful thing to be able to have. Why, what's the, I'm going to kind of switch gears here. I want to talk a little bit about this nature photography that you do, the wildlife photography.
Mhm.
Um, how does that play into your business? Because of course they don't sign up to be photographed.
Correct. So my wildlife photography, I just recently started like offering prints and stuff, a few months ago. I realized that it was something that I enjoyed so much
Mhm.
that I wanted to include it to just like be viewed by people. But then I had some people that were like, are these available for sale and stuff? And I'm like, I mean, it could be. I didn't even think of it like that. Um, it's just something that I don't know. Like if you've ever found like a hobby or something that just like when you find yourself doing that, you feel so at peace. I could sit and watch these animals that I come across for hours, and like it's like mom's pulling me out the door. Come on, it's time to go. And I'm like, well, just one more minute, one more minute. I
Yeah.
just want to like stay in that moment. And I'm like, if I enjoy it that much, there must be other people that also, I can't be the only one that enjoys it. So I was like, I'm just gonna kind of, display it. And although it's kind of too, because often I'm like, it's totally different, right? Like photographing humans and photographing animals. But I don't know, I feel like they can be enjoyed together too. Like I've often been on a photo shoot with a client, and like I have this knack to pick up things in the background or off in the distance in the sky. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look, it's a heron. And they're like, wait, what? And like some people have never seen some of the things that so
Wow.
like, even though it's totally different, like it's cool to see people's reactions to
Mhm.
things, like I'll be somewhere and I've got my camera pointed at the sky, right? And people are like, what are you looking at? And I'm quick to share if people are right there with me. And I'll be like, there's an eagle, or there's a bobcat, or and when people, they're like, how did you see it? It's fun to
Uh,
share that side of photography with other people and
Well,
to see the excitement.
that's interesting you say that, because I was thinking about asking you, do you ever see a component of your business being to teach to others? As opposed, you can continue to do your own shoots, you can schedule those, and you can go out and do your wildlife photography. But have you considered doing classes and teaching other people who might be just as interested, but not understand how to activate that eye yet?
Yeah, I have actually thought about it. I'm like, what would I guess the hard thing with it is like it's actually something I think about so often. So like I want to like do these wildlife tours, right? And like there's a lot of places that I go and I'm like, I'm going to see what I'm coming to look for. I know I'm going to find it. There's not a doubt in my mind because I know where they sleep and I know where they graze or I know where they fly during the day. I have spent so much time watching them. Like, say, we're just going to say an eagle, right? And the eagle's out in the middle of the river and the eagle takes off. I sit and I watch that eagle to where that eagle goes, you know? And I'm like, but there is so much with it that I'm like, it's a hard thing to tour, right? Because then I give up locations of things that are maybe endangered.
Yeah.
I do work with the New Hampshire Audubon too.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, I'm in contact with them for some of the wildlife that I've discovered, and like even from them, they've said, it's hard. You got to be careful, who you share
Yeah.
certain things with because some things stay in the same area. So I'm like, it's something I do want to do, but I'm like, how would I do that and get the people that I am bringing out to stay hush after?
Yeah.
Because it is hard because it's exciting. You want to and tell all about your day. You can't help yourself. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I have like a good answer for that, but it is something that I have thought about often.
Well, you'll probably be able to solve it. That's the world of entrepreneurialism, right? That we figure out how to solve the unsolvable and create a model for business that's both sustainable and enjoyable and profitable. And when
Yeah.
you start bringing those three things together, that changes everything. Is there any call to action that you have for people who are thinking about, I want to go fill in the destination, right? Or the blank for the destination, and I want to take better photographs. Do you have something that and it might be about nature, right? It might be about the actual photography. It might be about their expectations. However you want to share that with us. Do you have something that you'd like people to know and take action on?
Um, hmm. Can you give it to me in a different
Yeah.
different
So,
way?
so, if I were answering that question, I would want people to know that they're closer to financial independence than they realize, right? This is in my world, what matters to me, that they're closer than they realize, that the amount of time that we spend preparing to take action is usually a waste because you cannot create anything in that preparation. You're only stalling the process. So that would be my call to action for people, is just start, because you're closer than you think you are. So for you, what is something, you mentioned that you're really concerned about the environment. You're concerned about the effect that having people tromping through the forest, or entering into these endangered or um, uh, uh, wildlife grounds where maybe they're not endangered yet, but if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to endanger them. Or maybe it's about the photographs themselves, or what they can expect, or how they see themselves when they're photographed. What's something that's kind of like that thing that just always comes up for you, that's in your mind, that you want people to understand and be aware of? For
Hmm.
you, it's second
Um,
nature, but for other people, it may not be.
yeah. I guess what immediately comes to my mind, and I'm sorry if this is like off of like not where you were going with it.
All right.
Um,
That's why it's
but
always
sometimes,
open-ended.
yeah, sometimes I think that beauty is right in front of us.
Mhm.
Sometimes I think people might search too hard to find maybe it's a location that they're looking to go take photos, and it could honestly just it could be a wall right outside. I tend to find beauty in really odd things. And until I actually take my vision and put it into place, and then I go, this is what and then people are like, oh my goodness. And it's like, I never would have stopped to look at that. I think sometimes we're quick to overpass the things that are right in front of us.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people do ask me, like, where do you find this wildlife? And I'm like, oftentimes, honestly, I could probably go right here from Main Street in Keene and go 2 miles in any direction and find a hawk at least on a power line.
Yeah.
So again, like, people are really quick to like not take in the surroundings. There's so much beauty like all around us.
That's wonderful.
So I guess the call to action would be to like stop, slow down, look around.
Yeah. See what's
You might
right
have
in front
something
of you.
amazing in front of you.
That's great.
Yeah, whether it be animals or whether you're looking to take a photo of a person, you might have a beautiful scene right in front of you.
Yeah. What are you booking for right now? So somebody who is going, oh my gosh, I want to work with you, Allyson. Right. I'm now seeing the beauty around me, and I want to work with you. I want to have a session. How do they book with you?
Usually people would book online.
Okay.
Right now I'm currently setting up for Christmas.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy, right? It's October. However, in this particular, field, people need their photos back early so they can send them out in cards.
Yeah.
As we know, the post office can start to slow down in November. So right now I'm currently setting up for Christmas. So my studio is like a little bit of fall and a little bit of Christmas going on in here, because it's like we're not out of fall, right? Some people still want photos. But we're moving into that too. And then some people just call me to book. Some people just stop me out in public and they're like, I've been meaning to, get in touch with you. When can I book? So yeah, there's a few different ways that all kind of comes into play there.
And if they want to see your work, do they go to your website as well?
So my website, I have been in the mix of getting everything from one website over to a new website. As I went from something that was kind of like this long web name, and I kind of got a shortened domain. But yes, usually you'd be able to go onto my website and I have different galleries. And I put all the wildlife into one gallery so that anybody that was going for wildlife can scroll through there. If people wanted to see, what kind of backdrops I have a gallery that shows different backdrops. And then galleries of sessions that I've done that I have permission to share.
That's wonderful. Well, and for those that are looking for your website, what's the website?
It is Santaw, Santaw, photography.com.
Wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here today, and we've enjoyed learning from you and getting to experience your view of photography. So we want to thank you, Allyson, for being here. And if you're listening to this and you want to be part of Evolution Business Development, join us on Wednesdays at 11:50 a.m. We start promptly at 12. And for those of you that are staying after this recording, we look forward to a great mastermind. And that's how we always wrap up a good interview. Thank you, Allyson. Pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Want to be our next featured speaker? Click the link in the description to register, and let's stay connected. Follow me on all those social media platforms for financial tips to help you make your money work smarter while you build financial stability. Stay tuned for more, and see you in the next one.